She had a mole on her belly, a little round one, so that it looked like she had 2 belly buttons. Of course, a button was bigger than her mole, but her lips were as big as her bracelets, so it didn't matter much that her mole was small. She had hands as wide as boxcars. She had trouble greeting people, afraid they'd be put off by her wide hands. Her hands were not large, but they were very, very wide. She had shoulders as broad as steamboats and buttocks like down pillows. Her nose twitched whenever she smelled something warm. She had ears that hung to the sides of her head like baby monkeys. As if at any moment they would spring away into the trees. She had hips as thick as tires, and feet as soft as nails, and as tough as a baby's bottom. Baby who'd been spanked a lot. So the bottom was leathery as an old man who'd spent all his days in the sun. Yeah.
This is leather. It was hot in that sun.
I know.
Her feet were rough. They were rough.
Well, they were rough, yes.
When she walked barefoot into a room.
She walked barefoot into the room. I noticed her straight away. It was hard to miss her. She had a nose like a neon sign, and her nipples stuck out from underneath a shirt like 2 grapes playing hide and seek in a cloth factory. She wore a sombrero on her head and leather pants with cowboy boots. She was a walking contradiction. Her legs, it seemed when she walked, would move in opposite direction. And if she hadn't, if not for her swivel chair thighs, she split in 2 like a piñata. I asked her if she was hello, and she told me she was.
Hello, right back at you.
The words formed like bubbles from the ass of a deer that had been drinking from a bubble bath. I was smitten. I'm smitten, I whispered to myself, and she might have heard me, for she gave me a sideways smile like a boomerang stuck to a wall next to a poster of some football players. She didn't belong in a place like this. She should be roaming somewhere. She was a Roman type. I bet in her past life she'd been a roamer, some sort of animal who roamed, or maybe she had lived in Rome, but I was getting serious vibes off the Roman issue. So, what brings you here? I gathered my courage and spilled out the words.
Who, me?
She answered with the grace of a cobweb, and I was in love. But how was I supposed to answer a question like that? She was wearing a shirt made out of the sticks of umbrellas. It must have weighed 20 pounds. Made out of the handles of 30 umbrellas, all bound together with rope. It didn't look comfortable. But with the leather pants and the cowboy boots and the beautiful sun orange sombrero on her head, she was a vision. She was like no girl I had ever seen. Her eyes were like the back of a photograph you were holding up to the light. almost visible, but hidden behind a layer of film stock paper. Well, she made the next move with wombat precision. She grabbed my thumb like a hungry hippo and proceeded to wrestle it.
1, 2, 3, 4, I declare thumb war!
So you're a thumb wrestler, huh? I almost choked on my words, and when she turned to answer, she nearly knocked my glasses off my face with an umbrella. And this tamale was too hot for the plate.
Maybe.
And she pinned me like that. I looked down at her nails, and they were painted different colors. They were either gray or brown or a really brownish shade of green. But there was no pattern. But her thumbs were not painted at all. So, who does your nails?
Who doesn't?
You always answer questions with questions?
Do you?
I don't know. I made my move. Do you?
Maybe. What about you?
What about you? It was a Mexican face-off, and who would crack first?
I don't remember. Could you refresh my memory?
About what?
Don't you remember?
Remember what?
Wait, what did you say?
Excuse me?
What?
What? And then we kissed. Her sombrero falling to the floor, and my glasses mashed up against my face, and she stepped on my toes, and
smelled like grapefruit.
And she smelled like grapefruit peels and tasted twice as sweet. I was so excited I grabbed her by an umbrella handle, leapt straight out of my shoes and socks, and walked out of the bar barefoot. Stepped on a rusty can, stopped by the emergency ward for a tetanus shot, and then we went back to her place for an evening of card playing. By morning, she had taken me for $6,000 in brilliant Go Fish and Crazy Eights play. I kissed her on the cheek as the sun came up, limped back to the bus stop, and never saw her again. The last image I saw of her was of her smiling as she waited outside the bank for me to withdraw the $6,000. I sold my mutual funds. She was bouncy as a bathtub and giggling like a babbling brook. She rocked on her heels, stood on her toes, crossed her eyes, made farting noises with her armpit, and God damn it if I didn't love her. I gave her the cashier's check, and she made a noise similar to a
whoop
or a
skip-de-doo.
Then she high-fived me. Right in the middle of my chest. Leaving me only with a red handprint bruise to remember her by. Then she walked away. I turned and told the empty bus seat beside me that I didn't even know her name. And it made the 2 bus transfers go that much quicker just for me to think to myself what it might have been. Might have been Gloria. Or maybe it was JoJo, short for Joanne. Oh, the thrill of it. I mean, it could have been anything, but I was sure it was JoJo. For if ever there was a JoJo, it was her. She was her. JoJo was JoJo. Sure as sugar, baby. sure is sugar.